Is exercise selection really that important? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. All right, guys, here we are. Exercise selection. And I know there's all these running debates online, on podcasts, where it's like, if you could only choose one exercise for biceps, what would it be? And listen, I made a whole video series on it. We'll tag them here of what my favorite ones are. But I think like what people are like misconsidering or misunderstanding is the fact that, to me, the exercise doesn't matter. The effort does. So let's give you a real world example of me. Growing up, I was always great at barbell squatting. Like, it felt great. I connected to it. It felt natural. Even in high school, like, I love front squats in high school too. Like, when I was 16 and 175 pounds, I was front squatting 275 for sets of 5, where I was setting my hamstrings on my calves. Like, I was just good at it. And it didn't take a lot of learning, honestly. Like, put a bar on your back, squat down. All right, cool, done. And then once I got into bodybuilding, the mentor that I'd had at a young age, like, it was one of the few body parts that I could keep up with him. Well, at least the squatting portion. And I'd always look forward to those squats because it didn't matter if we were doing high rep, low rep, heavyweight, didn't matter. I was just good at it and I felt great at it. Strapped my belt on, had no knee pain, loved it, right? Well, to my first back injury, which is when I tore my left lower erector, I'd never thought twice about getting injured on a squat bar. Never had knee pain, never had low back pain until that moment. And I never thought twice about it. Well, after I got healed from that injury, I wanted to get back to squatting because I loved it. And once my back was healed and healthy, I just started light and started that progression all over again. And before you know it, I was back to hitting 4 plates for easy reps. And I continued to do that, and then I'd re-injure myself. And it's this chronic pattern of 1 to 2 times a year, I couldn't walk. And not because my legs were sore, but because my back was so fucked, right? And John looked at me and he goes, "Chris, when are you going to stop hurting yourself?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Your quads are your best body part. What if you took that same effort and energy and applied it to the leg press and the hack squat?" Now, I was already hack squatting and leg pressing like a machine, but I thought I needed squats to grow legs. And he was like, "You just simply don't." But I love them. So I fought it for a few months. And then one day I was like, you know what? He's right. Like, stop it. Because nothing is more adrenaline rushing for me than getting under a spider bar or a straight bar with fuckloads of chains on it and going up and down until you can't stand up anymore. Or doing a Widowmaker. Or I got into this really cool rhythm of seeing how many times I can do 315 or 225, like, and just rep them, like, for high reps, 30, 40, 50 reps. And I always got such a huge pump in my quads, not in my low back, not in my glutes, not in my hamstrings, not in my adductors, but my quads would blow up. And honestly, anytime my squat would go up, my body weight would go up. So I correlated that to progress, right? So I thought, oh, when that bar's on my back and it's getting heavier and getting lighter, meaning the weight that is heavy starts to feel light, I'm making progress and I'm growing as a whole. So I thought that that's what I had to do. And I had this emotional connection to it. Well, after that last injury and just realizing that, hey, if I continue on this path, by the time I hit 40, I'm not going to walk or walk right or be able to bodybuild. I was like, you know what? He's right. Listen to someone who's older and wiser. Because I was watching him get out of squatting as well and transition into mostly leg press, hack squat, Bulgarian split squat, leg extensions, lunges, all that fun stuff for quads. So I was like, what can it hurt? Guess what I found? Less injury, just as much growth. I just had to take the same energy and effort that I applied to the barbell squat or spider bar squat, yoke bar squat, doesn't matter which one, and put that in the leg press, put it in the hack squat, and make that my primary driver of growth. Once I did that, good stuff started happening. Legs were fuller, rounder. Honestly, when I stopped squatting, my sweep got noticeably bigger. Now, I think so proportionally with squatting, my VMO grew a lot. I had good sweep, but when I stopped squatting, my VMO slowed growth down. My sweep picked way up. So that's kind of the look to my quads now, is they're very sweepy off the knee and off the hip. And that's something that's coming all season I'm going to work on, is actually VMO growth, because I want to blow that thing up. But that's a side tangent. So let's get back to the topic. Does the exercise matter? To me, no. Incline barbell versus incline dumbbell, whatever one feels best for you, do it, progress, get better. Like, same thing. Like, and let's say that dumbbell and barbell pressing wreck your shoulders for chest. Why can't you get on a hammer strength and do progressive overload, get stronger, do more sets, do volume? It doesn't matter. Take that same energy and effort you used to apply to the barbell and dumbbell and put it in a hammer strength piece, a Nautilus, a prime piece. Doesn't matter, guys. Like, I'm not married to any one singular exercise. I need you to start listening to your body, being intuitive with it. So if you do an exercise and it feels great, like for example, I've been digging this step forward dumbbell row. I had to humble myself and go down to like an 80-pound dumbbell for a dumbbell row when I've been doing 160s. So cut it in half. But guess what happened? I restarted the progression and my lats started to grow. So don't be scared when you change an exercise to start over that progression. That's what's fun to me. You essentially are like back at square one. So let's say, for example, you've seen me post a lot of like banded dumbbell pressing. So instead of using the 150s, I'm going to drop down to the 120s with a red band, and now I'm going to start working my way back up to the 150s. Pretty cool, right? Or let's say with arms, like I've been going back to Swiss bar pressing, so a neutral grip, and I'm not doing close grip, but I'm doing a ton of tricep work and then going into a Swiss bench press, and man, my triceps are just getting crushed. Right now my progression is only up to 2 plates a side, which is really light for me for a pressing movement that normally, like let's say I did it fresh on a chest day, I'd probably do 3.25 plates on per side. So don't be scared to restart that progression and build that strength up, because that building of that strength is what's going to gain that lean muscle tissue. It's going to help you really create a mind-muscle connection that's deep with that body part. So the takeaway, if you love an exercise, feel it deep in the muscle tissue, do it. Get better at it, progress at it, and that's the key to growth. Until next time, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Chris on the TV.